I made a separate video talking about my biggest takeaways from NAB 2016, but one thing I didn't mention that I wanted to make a standalone video talking about was this new Craft camera system that's supposedly coming out at some point. Now, this is kind of a modular camera system similar to what Red is doing, but maybe taken to the next level where you can stack each piece that you need in the array. So if you don't need a recording module, you can pull it out. If you don't need the Pro in and out module, you can take that out. And there's all these different pieces or components to it, and it's all relatively affordable when you consider it being compared to something like a Red. Now, they haven't really gotten into any specs that I've seen in terms of what the sensor is going to do, which for me is one of the most important things when I'm evaluating any camera system is what's the dynamic range like, what's the resolution like, what kind of codec is it recording in, what kind of frame rates does it have, all of those things that basically make the image what it is. That's the stuff that I really want to know. And right now, I haven't really seen that information come out. So I'm very skeptical. This is not a thing that I would immediately plop money down on, but you certainly can. They are taking some kind of pre-orders where if you pay, I think $500 right now, you kind of get your foot in the door and you get discounts down the road and you become one of their like special loyal customers. So it gets you some perks, but basically you're giving your money to a brand new company that I don't even know what the final product is going to be. Now, this concerns me for a couple reasons, but the main thing is that I don't like the idea of investing in something that you don't know you're going to get, right? So this happened just recently with Blackmagic and the Ursa Mini 4.6K. That was supposed to be this global shutter camera with 15 stops dynamic range, yada, yada, yada. And what they ended up shipping was a rolling shutter camera. So everyone who paid, everyone who took delivery, paid for something and then got something slightly different. So if that was one of the main features that someone was looking for, like, oh, I really want that global shutter, they didn't get it. And it's maybe the case where they return it, but think of all that time and effort that was spent waiting and investing in something, giving a company money to use to create this product that didn't deliver on what those people need. And that's Blackmagic, where they make a lot of stuff already, and they're a fairly well-known name in the industry. You bring a new player to that, and it almost feels like a Kickstarter of sorts, where even though it's not going through Kickstarter or Indiegogo or one of these crowdfunding things, it kind of is crowdfunding because you're giving a pre-order, you're giving them money to use to invest in R&D and build this thing out and actually be able to deliver. And if they don't get enough of those orders, they don't get enough people in, what's to say that they can't actually deliver on their promise or it just doesn't fizzle away? Yeah, you might get your money back, but at the same time, how much are you really saving in the long run when you're giving them money to save, I don't know, 10% or $1,000? Let's say you save $1,000 on this thing because you invested at the front end. Well, if it's not delivered for a year or two, because there's always delays, inevitably there always are. Look at Red. That was like their thing for the longest time, and it still kind of is. You have delays, you have problems in manufacturing. There are so many problems that can come up, and the moment you hand away that money, you may be able to get it back. I don't know what all their policies are financially, but really be cautious whenever you invest in something like that, especially something that you can't just go to a store and check out yourself or rent online and try it out. Because as we saw with the Ursa Mini 4.6K, the people who took delivery of that camera, many of them are dissatisfied with it. Huge problems with the sensor basically being broken. The footage is not working. There are some people who are reporting positive things, but how much can you trust online these days when the negative maybe you can't trust, the positive you can't trust? Really, for me, I want to get my hands on it, look at it, see for myself, and see what we're working with, and at that point determine, is it worth it, right? Is it worth it to invest in this thing that is supposed to be the latest and greatest and coolest thing, and then you get it and you're, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you did. You just took my money, ripped me off, and made me spend a year or two dancing around this thing. And then even then, people now are trying to get support for the Ursa Mini from Blackmagic, a well-known, respected company, and they're not having success. You can go read the stories about it if you'd like elsewhere. And that's Blackmagic. Happens with Red. I'm trying to think of other cameras and other companies that have had serious issues. What was it? Aja, however you want to say it, their Scion camera that came out to, I don't know, Digital Bolex. They had that Kickstarter that, I don't know what happened. There's been other camera companies on Kickstarter that have tried to do stuff like this, where it's like, oh, we're going to make this thing super affordable and it's going to be awesome, it's going to be great. And then they just can't do it. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying be skeptical. And I think most people are, which is good. I think it's positive and healthy that hopefully all of us are kind of looking at it like, yeah, I don't know about that. But I don't know, maybe you did invest. I'd love to hear why you decided to give your money to them. That'd be interesting to me. Let me know in the comments. Happy to have the discussion. Maybe they're super reputable and they're amazing, but I haven't seen any of their marketing stuff. They're not putting this thing forward like, oh, we come from really known and well-known and respected things. It's just basically like they have a cool idea, and I like the idea, but I just want to make sure that it can actually come to fruition. And if it does come out and it is great, then yeah, I'll buy one. That'll be awesome. And hey, maybe I'll be out an extra $1,000. But sometimes it's safer to not put your money at risk like that and invest in other things at the current time, and then down the road, once it actually becomes reality, then buy into the system.